Jedi Advices and Queries. An exploration of Jedi life and conduct. The words that follow comprise a reworking of the Quaker Advices and Queries, published in the UK in 1994. Whilst the Jedi and the Quakers emerged at very different times and may hold contrasting views on many things, this little book contains a wealth of wisdom that may aid those on their own Jedi journey. To set the scene, I'd like to quote Geoffrey Durham from his book, The Spirit of the Quakers. Quakers have no creed. There is no dotted line that a newcomer has to sign, no statement of belief, no exam. They do not proclaim a better life for you if you follow them. What Quakers offer is a journey, a voyage of spiritual discovery undertaken with friends, which is reflected in turn in their journeys. They offer a faith which is based on personal experience and which contains no dogma. It follows from all this that Quakers are unlikely to take kindly to a rule book or to an agreed prescription for the maintenance of an unsullied life. Yet, perhaps surprisingly, friends do publish a pocket-sized volume, which many carry around with them, and which they find to be of great personal help. It is a set of 42 paragraphs containing thoughtful advice and some distinctly awkward questions. Its introduction declares to be for the comfort and discomfort of friends. It is called The Advices and Queries, and Quakers love it. So without further ado, for the comfort and discomfort of the Jedi Advices and Queries. Take heed, dear Jedi, to the promptings of love and truth in your hearts. Trust them as leading from the Force, whose light shows us our darkness and brings us to new life. Bring the whole of your life into the light of the Force. Are you open to its healing power? Cherish the Force within you, so that this love may grow and guide you. Let awareness of the Force enrich your daily life. Treasure your experience of the Force, no matter how it comes to you. And remember, being a Jedi is not just a label, but a path. Do you try to set aside times of quiet openness? All of us need to find a way into silence in order to deepen our awareness of the Force and to find that inward source of our strength. Seek to know an inner stillness, even amid the activities of daily life. Do you encourage in yourself and in others an awareness of the Force in each moment? Hold yourself and others in the light, knowing that we are all luminous beings. Jedi are rooted in the Force and find inspiration in the life and teachings of many religions and philosophies. How do you interpret your experience in the light of this wisdom? How does the Force communicate with you today? Are you at peace? Are you learning from your experiences and willing to relinquish your desires? How does the Force challenge and inspire you today? Take time to learn of other people's experience of the Force. Revel in your studies and recognize the importance of all writings which reveal the ways of the Force. As you learn from others, can you in turn freely share what you have come to understand? While respecting the experience and opinion of others, do not be afraid to say what you have found and what you value. Appreciate that doubt and questioning can also lead to spiritual growth and to a greater awareness of the Force in which we are all immersed. Do you work gladly with other groups in the pursuit of common goals? While remaining faithful to Jedi insights, try to enter imaginatively into the life and witness of other communities, creating together bonds of friendship. Be aware of the Force at work in the ordinary activities and experiences of your daily life. Spiritual learning continues throughout life, often in unexpected ways. There is inspiration to be found all around us in the natural world, in the sciences and the arts, in our work and friendships, and in our sorrow as well as our joys. Are you open to new insight from whatever source it may come? Do you approach new ideas without discernment? Peace is our response to an awareness of the Force. We can meditate alone, but when we join with others, we may discover a new sense of the Force. We seek a gathered stillness in meditation, so that all may feel the power of the Force, drawing us together and leading us. In mindful awareness, we enter with reverence into communion with the Force and respond to its prompting. If possible, come to meditation with heart and mind prepared. Yield yourself and all your outward concerns to the guidance of the Force, so that you may find selfishness weakening in you and the Force raised up. Practice mindful awareness of the Force, even when you are angry, depressed, tired, or spiritually cold. In the silence, ask for and accept the mindful support of others joined with you. Try to find a wholeness which encompasses pain, as well as thankfulness and joy. Meditation, springing from a deep place in the heart, may bring healing and unity as nothing else can. Let mindful awareness of the Force in meditation nourish your whole life. Be honest with yourself. What unpalatable truths may you be evading? When you recognize your shortcomings, do not let that discourage you. In mindful awareness of the Force, we can find the assurance and the strength to continue with renewed courage. When you are distracted or preoccupied in meditation, let wayward and disturbing thoughts fade away quietly into your awareness of the Force among us and in the universe. Receive the teaching of others in a tender and creative spirit. Reach for the meaning of it to you, recognizing that it may mean something else to others. Remember, we all share responsibility for our conduct. Do not assume that your ideas and input are not worthy to be shared. Sincerity in our words, even if brief, may open the way to new insights for others. When prompted to share your ideas, wait patiently to know that the leading and the time are right. But do not let a sense of your unworthiness hold you back. Be mindful that your contribution should arise from experience, and trust that words will be given to you. Try to speak clearly and distinctly, and with sensitivity to the needs of others. Beware of speaking too predictably or too often, and of making additions towards the end of a discussion when it has already moved on. Are your contributions held in the spirit of mindfulness and in the guidance of the Force? Remember that we do not seek a majority, nor even a consensus. As we wait patiently for guidance from the Force, our experience is that the right way will open, and we shall be led into unity. Do you take part as often as you can in your community? Are you familiar enough with those in authority to contribute to their work? Do you consider difficult questions with an informed mind, as well as a generous and loving spirit? Are you prepared to let your insights and personal wishes take their place alongside those of others, or to be set aside? Continue to nurture mindfulness of the Force in whatever you do. Do you welcome the diversity of culture, language, and expressions of faith in others? Seek to increase your understanding and to gain from our rich heritage and wide range of spiritual insights. Uphold what you have learnt from others in your mind. Do you respect the manifestation of the Force as expressed in everyone and everything, though it may be expressed in unfamiliar ways or be difficult to discern? Each of us has a particular experience of the Force, and each of us must find ways to be true to it. When words are strange or disturbing to you, try to sense where they come from and how they may have nourished the lives of others. Listen patiently and seek the truth which other people's opinions may contain for you. Avoid hurtful criticism and provocative language. Do not allow the strength of your convictions to betray you into making statements or allegations that are unfair or untrue. Think it possible that you have been mistaken. How can we make the world a community in which each person is accepted and nurtured and strangers are welcome? Seek to know one another in the things which are eternal, bear the burden of each other's failings, and help one another. As we enter with tender sympathy into the joys and sorrows of each other's lives, ready to give help and receive it, the temple can be a channel for love and forgiveness in the Force. Rejoice in the presence of children and young people in your life and recognize the gifts that they bring. Remember that we share the responsibility for the well-being of every child. Seek for them, as for yourself, a full development of conscious gifts and the abundant life that can be ours to share. How do you share your deepest beliefs with them while leaving them free to develop as the Force may lead them? Do you invite them to share their insights with you? Are you ready both to learn from them and to accept your responsibilities towards them? Do you give sufficient time to sharing with others, both old friends and new acquaintances, your understanding of meditation, of service, and of commitment to a life of mindful awareness in the Force? Do you give a right proportion of your time, expertise, insight, and wisdom to support other people? Do you cherish your friendships so that they grow in depth, understanding, and mutual respect? In close relationships, we may risk pain as well as finding joy. When experiencing great happiness or great hurt, we may be more open to the workings of the Force. Respect the wide diversity among us in our lives and relationships. Refrain from making prejudicial judgments about the life journeys of others. Do you foster the spirit of mutual understanding and forgiveness, which being a Jedi asks of us? Remember that each one of us is unique, precious, a child of the Force. Marriage should be regarded by Jedi as a spiritual commitment, rather than a merely civil contract. Both partners should offer an intention to cherish one another for life. Remember that happiness depends on an understanding and steadfast love on both sides. In times of difficulty, remind yourself of the value of mindfulness, of perseverance, and retain a sense of humour. Children and young people need love and stability. Are we doing all we can to uphold and sustain parents and others who carry the responsibility for providing this care? A long-term relationship brings tension as well as fulfillment. If your relationship with your partner is under strain, seek help in understanding the other's point of view and in exploring your own feelings, which may be powerful and destructive. Consider the wishes and feelings of any children involved, and remember their enduring need for love and security. Seek the guidance of the Force. If you undergo the distress of separation or divorce, try to maintain some compassionate communication so that arrangements can be made with the minimum of bitterness. Do you recognize the needs and gifts of each member of your family and household, not forgetting your own? Try to make your home a place of loving friendship and enjoyment, where all who live or visit may find the peace and refreshment of the Force. Live adventurously. When choices arise, do you take the way that offers the fullest opportunity for the use of your gifts in the service of the Force and the community? Let your life speak. When decisions have to be made, are you ready to join with others in seeking clearness, asking for guidance from the Force, and offering counsel to one another? Every stage of our lives offers fresh opportunities. Responding to the guidance of the Force, try to discern the right time to undertake or relinquish responsibilities without undue pride or guilt. Attend to what love requires of you, which may not be great busyness. Approach old age with courage and hope. As far as possible, make arrangements for your care in good time, so that an undue burden does not fall on others. Although old age may bring increasing disability and loneliness, it can also bring serenity, detachment, and wisdom. Be mindful that in your final years, you may be enabled to find new ways of receiving and reflecting the ways of the Force. Are you able to contemplate your death and the death of those closest to you? Accepting the fact of death, we are freed to live more fully. In bereavement, give yourself time to grieve. And when others mourn, let your love embrace them. We are called to live in the virtue of that life and power that takes away the occasion of all conflict. Do you faithfully maintain our testimony that war and the preparation for war are inconsistent with the spirit of the Force? Search out whatever in your own way of life may contain the seeds of conflict. Stand firm in our testimony that even when others commit or prepare to commit acts of violence, yet always remember that they, too, are children of the Force. Bring into the light of the Force those emotions, attitudes, and prejudices in yourself which lie at the root of destructive conflict, acknowledging your need for forgiveness and grace. In what ways are you involved in the work of reconciliation between individuals, groups, and nations? Are you alert to practices here and throughout the world which discriminate against people on the basis of who or what they are or because of their beliefs? Bear witness to the humanity of all people, including those who break society's conventions or its laws. Try to discern new growing points in social and economic life. Seek to understand the causes of injustice, social unrest, and fear. Are you working to bring about a just and compassionate society, which allows everyone to develop their capacities and fosters the desire to serve? Remember your responsibilities as a citizen for the conduct of local, national, and international affairs. Do not shrink from the time and effort your involvement may demand. Respect the laws of the state, but let your first loyalty be to the Force. If you feel impelled by strong conviction to break the law, search your conscience deeply. Ask others for mindful support, which will give you strength as a right way ahead becomes clear. Do you uphold those who are acting under concern, even if their way is not yours? Can you lay aside your own wishes and prejudices while seeking with others to find the right path? Are you honest and truthful in all you say and do? Do you maintain strict integrity in business transactions and in your dealings with individuals and organizations? Do you use money and information entrusted to you with discretion and responsibility? Taking oaths only on special occasions implies a double standard of truth. Be aware of the claim to the integrity that you are making in all circumstances. If pressure is brought upon you to lower your standard of integrity, are you prepared to resist it? Our responsibilities to our fellow children of the Force may involve us in taking unpopular stands. Do not let the desire to be popular or the fear of seeming peculiar determine your decisions. Consider which of the ways to happiness offered by society are truly fulfilling and which are potentially corrupting and destructive. Be discriminating when choosing means of entertainment and information. Resist the desire to acquire possessions or income through unethical investment, speculation, or games of chance. In view of the harm done by the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other habit-forming drugs, consider whether you should limit your use of them or refrain from using them altogether. Remember that any use of alcohol or drugs may impair judgment and put both the user and others in danger. Try to live simply. A simple lifestyle, freely chosen, is a source of strength. Do not be persuaded into buying what you do not need or cannot afford. Do you keep yourself informed about the effects of your style of living is having on the global economy and environment? We do not own the world, and its riches are not ours to dispose of at will. Show a loving consideration for all creatures and seek to maintain the beauty and variety of the world. Work to ensure that our increasing power over nature is used responsibly, with reverence for life. Rejoice in the splendour of nature and its continuing creation through the power of the Force. Be patterns, be examples in all countries, places, islands, wherever you come, that your carriage and life may preach among all sorts of people, and to them, then you will come to walk cheerfully over the world, answering that of the Force in everyone. George Fox, 1656.